I'm gonna start our third episode today, and I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm Liz. Today I'll be hosting our third episode of the Rock Creek Real Talk, and I just want to thank everyone that has joined so far, and I'm really excited for today's episode. So you might wonder who's behind us and guiding us as student leaders at the Rock Creek Multicultural Center, and also who's keeping a welcoming space for all diverse students at the PCC campus. And that's our coordinators, and I'll be introducing you to them today. And then we will also get into the topic of the elections 2020. We'll be asking a couple questions about it, and you can leave your comments down below. We will read them out. If you have any questions, you can also leave them there or in the question box on our stories. And before I get started, I want to announce that we're doing our first giveaway this week. And so we'll be giving away the Comfy Sherpa wearable blanket in color blue. And the way to enter the giveaway will be to watch the entire episode today, because at the end of the episode, I will be asking you a question about something that we'll talk about later on. And to enter the giveaway, you have to answer the question on our last post, which is the giveaway post we made. And then also a bonus entry will be tagging some of your friends on the comments, and one tag is one entry. So just watch out for the question at the end of the live so you can enter the giveaway. Now, I'll be going over the rules for our viewers for the live. Just be respectful, not only to us, but others watching as well. Leave appropriate comments and questions. And we ask you to not send us requests to join unless we are asking you to, and just enjoy the show. All right. So now I'm going to start introducing you to our first coordinator. So I will ask him now to join our live. And okay, we got Eder here. So
hey everybody.
Please introduce yourself and tell us your position, a fun fact about yourself, and what you're excited for the MC this year.
Yeah, thanks, Liz. So again, my name is Eder Mondragon Quiroz. I use he, him, his, or el pronouns. I'm the assistant coordinator. Thanks, Maria. Shout out to Maria in there in the comments. So I'm the assistant coordinator at the Rock Creek MC. Hey, yeah, the skater beanie. So I'm getting distracted here with all the comments. This is my first time going live too, so it's all new.
Yeah.
But this is fun. And then let's see, fun fact about me is I love to read graphic novels and comic books. Right now, my favorite one that I'm reading is called Monstrous, if y'all are into those. And then I'm excited to be at the MC this year. It's a new year, and it's just, new challenges. I think going remote, it's been a shift for sure to try and do like all this work that we do in the center online. And so I'm just excited to get to learn a new way to engage with students, getting to explore more of how do you do some of these events online, and working with y'all this year to make that happen. And already, y'all have been doing a lot of amazing work. So I'm just excited to keep doing that and keep learning more, and figuring out how we can continue to support PCC students through the MC this year.
Yeah, well, so far I can tell you that you've been doing a really good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. How do you feel we get already into our topic for today, the 2020 election? I just kind of want to hear what are your thoughts, your feelings about, you can start from the beginning, just what's been happening the last 2 days, and I don't know what are your thoughts and everything about the election.
I mean, where do I start? I've got a lot of thoughts, a lot of thoughts that are just all over the place right now with not knowing what the actual results are yet. We're still waiting on a few states to report what they got. So my mind is still on that, definitely feeling, anxious about what's going to happen. And, I think a lot of it is just being triggered from the previous election and, just how unexpected it was for that to happen. And, now we're in a similar situation where it's so close. I think like that was crazy to see that it's so close for this presidential election. And after all this time, like everything that's happened from the border with all the migrant families that were coming over to just the voter disenfranchisement that was happening and all this push to just make things unfair this year. It's crazy to see that still, like in the United States, there's still a lot of work to do. So I've got a lot of thoughts still, trying to process what's happening. More than anything, I think just being patient and waiting for the results to come in and everything to get counted. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm just, I'm waiting. I think I'm trying to tune it out as much as I can, but then also being able to just continue living my life, in the meantime.
Yeah. What about like when you see the news, what are the things that you are actually looking forward to hear, or how do you know what not to listen to, what you actually want to believe that you're listening on to right now? Because for me, I've listened to a lot of different things. I don't know what to believe, what to prioritize. So how do you like get around that?
That's a good question. I mean, there's so much information coming out now, on all the social media platforms. And so you really got to dig through a lot of stuff. I think for me, it's starting with just going to the news sources. So, looking at reputable sources. And this isn't me endorsing, but, folks like CNN, OPB, MSNBC, even Fox, right? Like comparing and seeing what the different news outlets are reporting.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that's coming out right now is still kind of unofficial. So, they're still kind of projecting some numbers, but I think looking at a variety of sources and then, trying to see what everybody's saying and then comparing and, making your decision based on that. And always double checking too, because if you're seeing those videos on YouTube or on your Twitter account, like you want to make sure you know where they're coming from and who's putting that out there for sure.
Yeah, I've definitely seen a few crazy videos on YouTube and Twitter. Twitter is blowing up, I guess, these past days with just so much crazy information there that and for me especially, since I'm not from here, I really like I hear everything. I see from both sides, from other people, and it's kind of hard to see like to make sense, to like choose what actually makes sense. But what about like what kind of conversations have you been having with the people, with like I don't know, your partner or your family, your friends? Like what are they talking about? Like have anyone called you concerned or said anything?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's worried right now. I think it's mostly folks, friends and family checking in with me and each other, just making sure we're doing okay. And I know the conversations that I've had with my parents, they were worried about what was going to be the results and stuff with this election. And I think a lot of the questions are like, well, what's going to happen next? Why is it taking so long? Why don't we know the official results yet? And I think so that's the biggest piece is people are just kind of waiting to hear what's going to happen. And I think knowing too, right, that it's going to be a while before they count like all the votes. So we really got to be patient and, just kind of wait for that until we have the final say. And I think like, we could be pretty confident about where it's going to go and everything, but we just got to remember like, there's a lot of us that people got to go through and, And in particular with Nevada, like, you know, it's taken so long
Yeah.
because it's new to them, right? Like it's the first time they're doing it this big. So it's going to be a while, you know. I think it's just reminding people to just kind of sit back and wait until everything gets counted. And I think at the same time, you know, I think we've been through these situations before as folks of color. You know, we deal with situations on the daily, and like racism, you know, isn't something that just came about when Trump was elected. It's been here for years. Different forms of oppression that have come out, you know, throughout the years,
Yeah.
um, and so I think we're used to being in those situations. We're used to having to deal with that as folks of color. You know, we're used to the hard work. We're used to doing what we can to like have our voices heard, to change the way that this country, you know, supports and serves us. And you know, it's still going to be that. You know, even if Biden does win, I think that's also the other conversation of, you know, it doesn't just mean that, you know, just because Biden's in the White House doesn't mean everything's going to be great and perfect. Like we still
Yeah,
gotta
exactly.
work and do some stuff.
Yeah. Um, I have one question here for us. So, what self-care tips do you have for these anxious times?
Right now, my go-to is a weighted blanket. If you're able to get your hands on a weighted blanket, they're amazing. They're literal like blankets with like glass beads, I think, in the middle, and they, you know, they weigh down on you, and it's good to like relieve like stress and anxiety and stuff. And so
Yeah,
after, at the end of the day, I just throw that on.
I had never heard of those. So, yeah, that's good. Now I know something to help me out with this. Um, yeah, someone else also thinks they're the best.
Yes, PCC Sylvania, you're right. Best thing ever. Best purchase I've made so far.
That's great then. I should try them out. All right. I actually want to mention probably there's some people here who didn't join before I talked about the giveaway. So just again, I just want to let you know that we're hosting our giveaway, our first giveaway, and we'll be going over the ways to enter the giveaway. Um, every time I see someone new coming in, just so that they watch out for the question that I'm gonna ask at the end of the live, because you'll need to know what that question is to enter the giveaway and leave us your comment on our giveaway post, which is our last post on the account. So well, Eder, it was really nice talking to you, and I'm so glad that now other people get to know who's our coordinator, what your fun fact is, so people remember what your fun fact is. And I'm gonna bring on Jeff now to introduce him, and we can probably bring you back again if other people want to ask you more questions. Again, you can leave us on the comments. And thank you, Eder.
Cool. Thanks, Liz. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so I will be asking Jeff to join us now so he can introduce himself, and hopefully he'll join us in a few seconds. We're just waiting for him to answer. Okay. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, how you doing, Liz?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine.
Okay, I'm glad to hear. Well, so I like you to please introduce yourself, give us your name, pronouns, your position at the MC, give us a fun fact about yourself, and what you're excited for in the MC this year.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Hall. I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I graduated with my bachelor's and master's at Florida International University, and continue on with my education and graduated with my master's from the University of Oregon. I'm the multi-league coordinator at the I'm the multi-culture center league coordinator at the Rock Creek campus at PCC, Portland Community College. I'm really excited this year to work with such a dynamic group of students and just to meet the many more. I've been able to just become acquainted with the student leaders, and I'm just so impressed with the work that they are doing right now. And I'm like, wow, if you're representing the students at PCC, I can't wait to become acquainted with the many other students within the body. So I'm just really excited this year just to meet every one of you all and to be a part of something special here. And so, as far as a fun fact, I'm a huge sports fan. So, I mean, anything when it comes to sports, any sports, you can sit down, talk, chop it up, and just discuss. Whatever you want to talk. It doesn't matter if it's baseball, basketball, football, soccer. I mean, I'm all in it. Volleyball. So that's
Now,
something. And then I like to laugh.
I have a question for you. Do
Okay.
you call football football, or like I've always grown up calling soccer football,
Yeah.
not, and American football just American football? How do you feel about that? Do you call it soccer, like, or do you watch soccer, or maybe you're big on?
Well, I grew up in South Florida, so American football is huge. So I grew up calling it football, but I'll say that that's always been something that I appreciated by growing up in South Florida is that I grew up in an environment that was really diverse, and so even
Mm,
within my household, my mom, she's from the Bahamas, and so I have the relatives from the Caribbean, and so when we talk about soccer even with some of my other colleagues, and some of my peers growing up. They'll say soccer interchangeably with football, and so
yeah.
I know what they're talking about. So it never confused me. So
Okay.
I'm fine with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Now I'm getting used to calling it soccer, but when I first came to the US, it was so hard for me. I would call it
yeah,
football, football, and they were like, "Are you talking about like what football are you talking?" I was
yeah,
like, "The only football there is," and they're like, "No, there's American football." And I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
okay, sorry." But yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so let's get into today's topic, which is the election.
Yeah.
So I just want to hear about your thoughts, your feelings
Mm.
on everything that's been going on, especially for the past few days since the third. So yeah, let us
Uh,
know.
oh, okay. Um, with the election, I'll be honest. I've been losing sleep for the election. I mean, when it comes to politics, that's something that's I'm really big on. I guess education, politics, and sports. Those are some things that I'm really huge on. And so I'm having these conversations with my family. My younger brother and I, we're the only one in our family on the West Coast. So, politics is really big in our family. So I'm always calling back home, and I'm up to like 1 in the morning here. So it's like 4 a.m. back home. And so
Yeah.
sometimes my parents, they can't hang, sometimes they can hang, and they're up to like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And so I mean, it's huge. I mean, with this election right now, I mean, as we all were sitting here, we're waiting for the results. I see a level of encouragement that I am encouraged by. You see in states that wouldn't normally, and I'll be open with, I'm an independent voter, but I voted Democrat, so I'll be honest where I'm at and who I'm voting for right now. I'm not being politically correct right now. I endorse Biden, and that's who I'm hoping to win. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so like what I'm encouraged by is that you see in states that Democrats wouldn't usually win, and all of a sudden, like, it's really close. I'm seeing Georgia, and I'm encouraged by that. I'm encouraged by how close it is in Georgia because even during times where, let's say, where we're dealing with issues of racism and our race relationships in this country, it's just up front. It's bad. I personally feel like it was bad for the longest. It was always bad, but now it's like there's no hiding it. Everything's in the
Yeah.
forefront. Everything's out front, and so it's like there's no discretion with it. What you see is what you get. But you see in places there where, the people are activated and they're going to vote, they want to bring about change. And you're like, wow, in Georgia, it's less than 10,000 votes that can go towards Biden. So I'm encouraged with something like that. But then again,
Yeah.
I'm discouraged. I'm disappointed, not discouraged. I'm disappointed that it's this close, and before
Yeah.
as an independent voter, you vote for who you feel may be the best candidate that could best support this country, that can best lead this country. And I'm one that doesn't believe that you should be tied down to a particular party, because that's how you play. That's how different one. They play games on your beliefs. Even
Sure.
with religion, we see that one particular party may pander to a religious sect, and they play on those beliefs of the people, and so they believe that you shouldn't just be closed-minded and just all in on one particular party. However, when you have a candidate that comes out and makes a number of statements that's insulting to so many communities, I personally don't see how you can support someone like that. And so that was an issue I had, and I'm like, okay, we had 4 years. There's certain things that you can't hide behind. You can't hide behind, well, he's a good businessman, so the economy may be better, or he's not a politician, so these things can work, or whatever make believe excuse people had to support him in the past. I felt after these 4 years have went by, what you see is what you get. And despite all of that mishandling of the pandemic, just everything, he could still possibly win. We're really close right now, and so
Yeah,
that's what
definitely.
hmm
Like,
that's it, and
and
that's
like
what
you
I'm.
like you mentioned before, like I didn't like, since I'm not from here and I haven't lived very long here either, I was learning about how states were more towards um
Yeah,
like they've been more Democrat in the past and stuff, and now
mm,
it's changing. Like just like Florida, that surprised
yeah,
everyone too. And like you
yeah,
say, the numbers are so close, so it makes you think, like it makes you wonder, like what's going on. But
yeah.
then, but yeah, like everything you've said it is that it's that way for sure.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And so that's the thing. And so, like I said, it's a bit of a both. You feel encouraged, but you feel disappointed. But even with the level of being disappointed, I really believe like what I believe that Biden will take this election, and I firmly believe that we can't become complacent there. We have to remain activated because, like I said, what you see is what you get. We see that it's this close. So different ones who supported Trump for whatever reason, their ideologies aren't going to change. Their mentality isn't going to change. So we have to stay aware and we have to stay educated on the political process. We have to remain engaged. You
Yeah.
can't. Yes, presidential election is not just it. We have to stay involved in our local elections. We have to stay involved. Vote in the state, the general elections. And even for international students that want to contribute and make a change to within this country, there's different avenues that you all can take as well. Just by if there's a particular candidate that aligns with your views, you can volunteer
Hmm.
and work on their campaign. You can volunteer at the polls. There's a number of things that you can do to remain activated. Work with grassroots organizations. There's so many things out there where you don't have to be left out, and so we just have to stay. We just have to stay up front. What we're doing now, we're fighting for the next generation. And then we're fighting for the future as well. So that's how I see this election. We'll have a sigh of relief if Biden wins, but then we have to, for many students or many people who may feel a bit hesitant, if you feel like what can you do to hold him accountable, continue to vote, continue voting your local elections. Vote. We're gonna 2 more years. We're gonna have the general elections again. Vote there. During those primaries. That way you can vote in different political officials who have initiatives that align with your interests, and that way you can hold the president accountable, and then you'll provide the president with support in order to make some changes. So that's how I see it. I could talk on for the longest, but I'll be happy when the numbers come in and we have a decision really from.
No, yeah, and it's definitely important to hear, um, especially like your opinion on these, all of our opinions on this,
Yeah.
because like you said, as an international student at the beginning, I feel like I don't know if there's much that I can bring into the table, but like you mentioned, we can volunteer, we can just express our opinions to who we believe can do the best job for the country, even though even if we don't vote, but we can bring awareness to other people too.
Right.
Just create conversations, engage with other people in these topics, and try to educate ourselves, because maybe someone will learn from this too. Like, even if we're international students, we can help people from this country too.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Exactly, yes.
yeah,
As many as you can contribute. That's
yeah.
good.
So I guess you kind of answered to what kind of conversations you're having with your family. You say you talk to
Mm.
your brother a lot about this,
Yeah.
but has I guess I can ask you one of the questions that was left on our comments is, what self-care tips do you have for these anxious times?
I try to. It's a lot. Like I said, I'm losing sleep during this, but I try to find some things to do. I guess not recently. I say recently, like within the past 4 years, have definitely got into writing more. So I do a lot of writing. I found a way to just that's a way for me to express myself in ways that I don't usually express openly. And so writing helps, reading helps. And just sometimes just finding a good movie to laugh at or a good sitcom. I'm always binge watching shows and series on Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, and so that's a way for me to escape for a little bit before I have to get back to work. So those are some
Yeah.
self-care tips. There's some self-care strategies that I utilize.
Yeah, that's probably what I do too. I watch something that I know is gonna take my mind away from things
Yeah,
that I know I'll just get distracted on, that will probably make me laugh.
yeah.
So yeah, that's a good one too.
Mhm.
And the blanket that Eder uses, I'm definitely gonna search for that on Amazon and get
Yeah.
it.
I've been hearing a lot of
Yeah.
people talk about weighted blankets, so I'm like, I may need to get one as well.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
a lot of people leave in their comments that they also like them, so I'm gonna give it a go.
yeah.
Well, it's been great having you on the live, Jeff. And
All right.
again, if anyone else has questions for you, just leave them on the comments. And also, yeah, like I said, if anyone has, um, oh, sorry, I was reading the question. Someone says that they have two weighted blankets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, so if anyone has any questions, just leave them on the comments or on the question box, and then we'll answer them for you. But for now, I'm gonna let you go, and then I'll bring Lei that is in there with us.
All right. Thank you so much,
All
Liz.
right.
All right.
Thank you, Jeff. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So before I bring Lei, again, for the people who have just joined, I want to tell them that we are doing our giveaway, our first giveaway. We're hosting our first giveaway, and you have to stay with us until the end of the live so that you'll hear a question that I'm going to ask you. And the answer to that question, you have to post it on our last giveaway post on our account to enter the giveaway, or you can also tag your friends, and one tag equals one entry to the giveaway. So now I'm gonna ask Lei to join us. Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Lei. How are you?
Hopefully you can hear me. I'm good.
That's great. So, probably most of you have seen Lei already. We did a live together a couple of weeks ago, but please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lei Bugarin. I am an equity ambassador for the Rock Creek Multicultural Center. And yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I look really disgusting right now.
No, you look fine. Oh, I almost said something. I started watching a show on Netflix that a little girl kept saying the phrase "perfectly splendid," perfectly splendid. So I was just gonna say, "You look perfectly splendid," but
You have to tell me what show that is.
all right, so let's get into our topic, which is the elections. So, just like I've asked Jeff and Eder, would you like to tell us what your thoughts and your feelings have been throughout the election process, and especially the last couple of days?
Yeah, so honestly, I'm doing a little bit better than I was on November 3rd. There was so much anxiety and just nerve-wracking experiences throughout these past couple of days. But keep in mind, I am a fresh voter. I'm 19, so this is my first time voting for a president of the United States. So it's a pretty big deal. And to see all of this for the very first time, I've never experienced it in my past or seen it ever because I was so young. And so experiencing this now is insane. I keep seeing how worried people are, how anxious everyone is.
Yeah.
And so just being in the midst of that, but also like realizing that I'm learning all these new things and contributing to that American duty of voting is it's really interesting and really cool. But I keep looking at the results now and then. I keep seeing that, it's still 264 for Biden.
Yeah.
And I'm just anxiously waiting here for those 6 votes to fill up.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now I'm riding on the feeling of being calm and collected. We don't know what exactly is going to happen. And even if Joe Biden wins, like Eder said, it's not going to be perfect. We still don't know what's going to happen if he's elected. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now.
I kind of, like you said, like I had probably the same emotions on November 3rd. For me, I haven't experienced an election here in the US, but I've experienced more before in Ecuador. And what was like kind of unreal for me was the fact that this election here in the US is so similar to our last election in Ecuador. And I come from a third world country. So it happened the same thing. It took them not 2 days, but 1 day more to announce the president. And there was so many similar things that I've been kind of seeing here, like, with the votes and the ballots, and like something smells fishy, like something doesn't look right, So, and for me, it was like, am I back in a third world country? Like, what's going on? Like, I didn't really expect that something like this would happen in the US.
Right.
But I guess we never know, and I guess I've just been waiting too. But it's something that we can all learn from too, I guess, and I'm definitely learning. I didn't really know many aspects of how elections are held here in the US, so I've been learning. I didn't know how the votes were counted per state and how many points were they. Like, I had no clue about that, so I've been learning a lot more. So what about like within your family and friends, what kind of conversations have you been having with them?
I remember on November 3rd, I remember my cousins and I in our little group chat, we were talking and making sure we were just supporting each other and not thinking too much about the results and how it keeps shifting, because it was that night where we were just watching that red and blue bar on Google just going back and forth. And so yeah, we just try to check in with each other and also discuss what's happening now and then, but not to the point where we are overwhelmed. And then we also recently, my family and I have been getting into the recent topic of Trump saying that this is cheating, that the fact that Biden's winning, it's fraud, it's ridiculous, because we have been talking about like the mail-in voting and everything, and that's why Trump is feeling like this is some sort of way that the Democrats are cheating, because this is the first time that almost all of America is doing mail-in voting, and so the fact that he's like demanding a recount and getting all upset about this process is just really weird. And so my family and I have been just sort of discussing this, and even, I don't know if you have seen this, Liz, but the memes going on about Bernie Sanders predicting the future.
Oh, I have not seen it.
So I don't remember exactly when, but Bernie Sanders, maybe it was a week before or 2 weeks before, he had a interview with, I think, one of the Jimmys, Jimmy Fallon, I think. He was saying how he's worried for the results, because if it so happens that Joe Biden wins or is in the lead, Trump is going to blame it on mail-in voting, and because it's fraudulent or whatever he was saying. And so my family has been sort of laughing at that meme of Bernie Sanders telling the future, like in The Simpsons, because he knew that this was going to happen, and it's exactly what's happening right now. So yeah, those are some of the conversations we've been having. But other than that, it's just mainly, making sure we're keeping in check with each other and feeling calm, because this is a worrying time.
Yeah. For me, my experience has been kind of weird. So I think I've mentioned before, I live with a host family, which I love. They're very, very nice people to me. I'm very grateful for everything they've done for me, and I get really well with them, along with them. But they love Trump. They are like the most Republican people you can see. I don't really know if what I'm saying is nice to hear, but but they're really nice people. I love them. So I've been hearing their conversations. I don't really get involved in them. But I've been hearing their conversations, and everything I hear is like lawsuit here, lawsuit there, lawsuit. So I'm just like, and what I'm wondering is, no matter what happens, probably, even if Biden wins, Trump is going to be like remaining the presidency until the end of the year, right? So what if he wins some of the lawsuits until then? Like what would happen then? That's what my thoughts are also going towards. So I guess there's still a lot of things that we have to wait for.
For sure. And it's just the system again is just really weird. I'm talking about the Electoral College and everything, and how these systems are put to play. I had really gotten to the research of Electoral College, and just seeing how it's benefiting white people. That's the history behind it too. And so it's just really weird seeing these systems being put to play for the benefit of those in power. And it's really upsetting to see, our president sort of be a sore loser about the fact that Biden is taking the lead, and making these statements that, oh, they're cheating because of mail-in voting. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I guess, like you said, he's being a sore loser. But yeah. I've definitely learned more vocabulary, so
me too.
That's something good for me. Well, again, I think we have a few more people that I haven't seen before, and I just want to mention again about our giveaway. Lei knows it, so maybe you can tell us about it this time, since I've been repeating it like 3 times already. They're probably tired of listening to me say it. Maybe
we are not tired of you, Liz. We're never tired of you. But yeah, I can talk about it. So everyone who just joined, this is our first giveaway that we're starting. We are giving away the comfy Sherpa wearable blanket. It's like this huge. If you haven't seen it in our posts, it's like sort of a jacket, but a huge oversized jacket that's like a blanket that you can cuddle with, and it's just it's great. It keeps you warm, especially in these stressful online learning times. If you ever have a mental breakdown because of school, it's great. It keeps you warm and happy. So if you'd like to win that, make sure you stay until the end of this episode, where Liz is going to say the giveaway question, and you're going to answer that giveaway question in the comments of our previous post, which is the giveaway post. So after you do that, make sure you follow the other directions that are listed to fill in your entry for this giveaway. And you could even do extra entries if you tag people in the comments. So yeah, make sure you watch out for that and get this chance to win that awesome prize.
Yeah. It's our first giveaway, so we're all definitely excited to be hosting one. And I think the last question for you that I have is, what self-care tips do you have for these anxious times?
Dang, right now I've been doing a lot of self-care, not gonna lie, because this is probably one of the most stressful times I felt in my life. But one thing that I've been doing is like cooking or baking. For those of you who love food, it's a really great stress reliever, just making your own thing and eating it right after. So definitely try those activities out, or even just like taking a good power nap. Naps are my favorite thing as well. So, if you want to get away from the world, put down your phone, put away your social media, and just nap.
Yeah. That's true. I have a hard time falling asleep during the day, but cooking or just eating the food, those are my go-to when I'm feeling anxious, especially something sweet. I always crave something sweet when I'm like anxious. And
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I made an apple pie the other day, and it was the best thing ever. It was my favorite thing. To answer that question of what have you been cooking?
Yeah, that's what
from PC.
I've never made pie. Was that hard?
It's not that hard once you get used to it. This is the second or third time I've made it. But yeah, it's pretty fun. I'll send you the recipe.
Okay, yeah, then I'll try it, and then I'll send you some pictures of probably the mess I'm gonna make. All right. Well, it was nice talking to you, Lei, and thank you for letting us know a little bit of what you've been feeling and going through for the past few days about the elections. And I'm gonna let you go now.
All right. Bye, Liz.
Bye,
Thank you.
Take care. Bye. All right, so we have come to the end of our live today. You have met Eder, you have met Jeff, you've seen me and Lei again here, and I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. And now I'm gonna be giving you or asking you the question for our giveaway, which is, what are Eder's and Jeff's fun facts? They mentioned their fun facts when they introduced themselves. So to enter the giveaway, please go to our last post on our Instagram account and comment on the giveaway post what the answer to this question, which is, what are Eder's and Jeff's fun facts. And also you can share a fun fact about yourself. Don't forget that for a bonus entry, you can also tag a friend, and a tag is valid one entry. So now I just want to thank you all for sticking around, watching the episode. I hope you learned something from today, that you got to distract yourself, I'm glad that you got to meet our coordinators, and I'm hoping that everyone's staying safe, is taking care of themselves, and we'll see you on our next Real Talk next Thursday. So watch out for that and all the events that we'll be doing after that. So again, thank you for staying here with us, and have a good rest of your day. Bye, everyone.